Shalom to the elect, giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashem El Shai, Bashem Chakudash, and giving double honor to the elder apostles and elder bishops, the great millstone, who well, peace and salutations to the elect, Shemal Mopin is a Mopin from the great millstone, playing tables camp. Located here in the city of Philadelphia, Abawa, I'm the mighty Mike. Come on, lesson little, or we lesson. Is Alamadium Hayabah. This lesson B, I would say ill, Slakia. I just went into a Hebrew, just started speaking Hebrew. But this will be on, we'll see the topic of people are burnt out from their jobs and are sick of the 9 to 5 life. All right, this is off a large man abroad, great channel. This particular individual. I like his perspective with a lot of different things that he points out about what's going on in the world, and particularly as most people are suffering, okay, and they're suffering under the rulership of the wicked, which are the Edomites, which of course goes all the way to the top elite banking families such as the Rothschilds and Rockefellers, the DuPonts, Guttys, all right, just to name some, okay. And you have the earth is in languishing state, all right. So I'm gonna get this scripture and then we'll go right into it. So this is Proverbs chapter 29:2, which it reads, and when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked bears rule, the people mourn. Okay, now the authority, all right, you have Rabbah, which goes into being great and having increase, right? All right, if of course this place was being ruled by the righteous, okay, it would be multiplying. It would be exceedingly enlarged, but you see, and becoming numerous, but you see a lot of things are decreasing, okay, or waning in this time, all right, instead of waxing. And if you don't admit that, you're in denial. It says the people rejoice, right, which when the righteous are authority, so the people are not rejoicing, which this is a point, because the people that are actually working, they're sick of the 9 to 5 life, and they're actually burnt out from their jobs. You have different people that actually had satisfying jobs, where the jobs become or have became more tiresome and more miserable, okay. But when the wicked bears rule, the people mourn. So, and I'm gonna look into beareth rule, and rule is the Hebrew word there, which is mashal. Mashal goes into to have the dominion, okay. So of course they have being the Edomites, which are the Rishayim, okay, because that's wicked in a plural sense, but you just have Rishai here, the wicked. Edomites as a whole, collectively, all right. They had the people in mourning, all right, which is a nach, which is a sign, okay, a sigh, slaki, pardon me, or a moaning, okay, like each and every day, like people are moaning in physical distress, okay, like you wake up, which is a sign of grief. All right, so we're just going to go into this right here, which the people are burnt out from their jobs and are sick of the 9 to 5 life. Fairly use warning, this is for educational purposes only. And large man abroad, this is not for any monetary gain, but only to bring out edification, all right, on the great American burnout.
Have enough money at the end of the day. But everyone has different jobs. Sometimes you just want to quit. The jobs that we all have, everyone has different jobs. Everyone's doing different things, but it seems like they all lead to the same thing. And that's, none of us have enough money at the end of the day. But everyone all over the country right now, not everybody, but a lot of people are really starting to feel burnt out, just want to kind of give up, given their 2 weeks notice, silent quit, whatever you want to call it.
Damn.
People are just really feeling it these days. And let's have a look.
I feel like the reason that we all feel burned out in 2025 is because burnout has never been like this before, where we can burn ourselves out without even moving. It's like the entire rat race is happening while we're just sitting still, staring at our phones. Burnout of the past used to be like, oh, I gotta run to this meet up, and then I gotta go to work, and then I gotta go to the groceries, and then I gotta go to the gym, and then I gotta go to blah blah, and you're just like, your whole life is just like bouncing around. Now we're not even moving. We're literally just sitting still, and the rat race is just happening in our brains 24/7. Like, I feel like even it used to be like, okay, you get burned out, but you at least get some period of the day where you're just sitting around just kind of staring at a wall being like, duh. Like, I think that period of your life is incredibly important, to just have that space where your brain just does nothing at all.
I feel it. I'm someone who likes to zone out. I'm someone who gets in his own head all the time, even when I'm in the middle of
That didn't really speak much to me, what he just said, so we gotta keep going. I mean, that's somebody being stagnant and within their mind, but keep going. A lot of us as Hebrew Israelites, we're moving, at least us that's progressive. We actually are active in things that we do, put our hands to do, okay? But I guess he may be more so speaking about a mental strain, but let's just keep going.
work. It's just kind of what I do. It's who I am. And I know there's a lot of people
What up?
that, but
Does nothing at all.
I feel it. I'm someone who likes to zone out. I'm someone who gets in his own head all the time, even when I'm in the middle of work. It's just kind of what I do. It's who I am. And I know there's a lot of people out there like that, but really these days it never ends, because even when you're on your break, what happens? It's either you have some kind of work related task or you're on social media. There's no zone out space. There's no time to just kind of mentally check out. And that's incredibly important. It's important to kind of just drop your pack and just, I don't know, go to the fridge and just smash food into your face as you vacantly stare at the back of the fridge. Really?
I mean, most people are in the field. That's for somebody that work a white collar job. But most people are just preoccupied with, as you have it, the social media, which with that just, have you with false sense of worth in a lot of cases, because that's not even reality. Most people are on social media and they pretty much broadcast their lives to make it seem as if they are have some form of dignity from the things they're involving themselves with. Whether, okay, they went out to get a sandwich at a particular place, or they're eating a sandwich that they bought from somewhere, or they made. But a lot of it is becoming less satisfying because it's vanity, okay? And that's just life, okay? When King Solomon looked out on everything, he said here, this is Ecclesiastes chapter 2 and 1, it says, I said in my heart, go to now, I will prove thee with mirth, all right, with joy. Therefore enjoy pleasure, and behold, this also is vanity. Okay, which I'm going to read this in a different translation. It says here in the NLT, it says, I said to myself, come on, let's try pleasure. Let's look for the good things in life. But I found that this too was meaningless. Like, yeah, you see like a lot of things that you would go out to go do. You got different get-togethers, and you might want to see what these people have in the trends and stuff, but you end up finding out like this ain't nothing, man. Even when you're trying to be like happy, you might go to like one of these amusement parks, or you might even go to like an arcade or something, and you'll be like, man, this ain't satisfying me. But anyway, it says, I said of laughter, pardon me, it is mad, and of mirth, what doeth it? I sought in my heart to give myself unto wine, the drink, right? Yet acquainted mine heart with wisdom, and to lay hold on folly, till I might see what was that good for the sons of man, which they should do under the heaven all the days of their life. So Solomon looked into things. He looked into, like most people be like, yeah, man, as we do know, wine makes the heart merry. The mind can be merry in some cases, right? Also, we know wine is a mocker, though, too. It could be a deceiver, roughly paraphrasing. But he looked into different folly, different wickedness. So Solomon did go check out everything to get the totality of the understanding about this life in this world. Okay, folly, foolishness, all right, silliness, all right, from Sakal Wath, all right, going back to Sakal, which Sakal go back to fool and to be stupid, all right, it's things. But going on, it says, I made me great works. I builded me houses. I planted me vineyards. I made me gardens and orchards, and I planted trees in them of all kinds of fruits. I made me pools of water to water there with wood that bringeth forth trees. I got me servants and maidens, and had servants born in my house. Also, I had great possessions of great and small cattle above all that were in Jerusalem before me. I gathered me also silver and gold. So he even got himself money, true money, and the particular treasure of kings of the provinces. So the top treasures. I got me men singers, entertainers, and women singers, and the delight of the sons of men as musical instruments, and that of all sorts. So I was great and increased more than all that were before me in Jerusalem. Also my wisdom remained with me. Okay, so even when he did all this, he still had wisdom. Okay, and whatsoever mine eyes desire, I kept not from them. I withheld not my heart from any joy, for my heart rejoiced in all my labor, and this was my portion of all my labor. Then I looked on all the works that my hands had wrought, and on the labor that I had labored to do. Behold, all was vanity and vexation of spirit, and there was no profit under the sun. So, hey, going and seeking that all out, man. You're like, man, this is all vanity, man. Okay? So, it says, and I turned myself to behold wisdom and madness and folly. So, both totalities of good and evil. All right? The darkest of the dark and the lightest of the light. Okay? The knowledge. For what can the man do that cometh after the king? Even that which had already been done. Then I saw that wisdom excelleth folly, as far as light excelleth darkness. So at the end of the day, wisdom excels folly. So also us at the end of the day, when we have it where we are doing this knowledge and this truth, you gotta understand that we're better than the people that's in the world, far better. Okay, because when you go into the Hebrew word for excel, you have this one, which is having preeminence, which the Hebrew word is from the root yathar, which yathar wan, okay, which is advantage or profit or excellency, better, okay, what one has over and above. So to be doing what we're doing is over, of course, folly. Okay, the wickedness. Because a lot of people try to tell us, hey, we wasting our time with what we're doing. No, not Solomon already looked it out. Okay. As far as light excelleth darkness. Okay. So let's just keep going to this.
There's nothing wrong with that, really.
Now we just 24/7 are staring at our phones, consuming the worst kind of stuff. Literally it doesn't stop. Everybody, I feel like there's this big mystery. Why does everybody feel burned out? The phones are destroying our brains.
Right, and all different sorts of frequencies, all different type of content that's going into our minds, programming, okay? You got different programming, which programming actually go back to forewritings, okay, when you go into it. And they push a lot of the different things they want us to do via social media, via the media, all right? Because it's nothing but a channel, okay, for them to feed into your mind, whatever it is they're trying to get you to believe, okay? Program go back to, as you said, to forthright, okay, to right before, basically, right? So it's a written public notice, all right, a proclamation, an edict, which an edict is as a, basically like an order, okay? Or Tazawa, what's that? Edict. Edict is a proclamation having the force of law, okay? And a lot of people are burnt out. I'm tired of being told what to think, but they give you what to think with this. So,
do people not understand that it's the phones? And yes, I understand the irony of me saying this while I'm doing the exact thing I'm telling you not to do. I understand that, but I'm an addict. Okay, just please give me.
I mean, I feel it. I know I'm not the only one.
People are mad.
One who feels it. Sometimes you have to have a little doom scroll, but it gets addictive. You just kind of, and the whole thing's designed for it to be addictive, for it to take over your entire life. I know a lot of you know what it's like at the end of the day. You've been scrolling too much. A couple hours have gone by somehow. It's like you blink. You thought you just had 5 minutes. That's a couple hours, but your brain just feels like it's overexerted. Like you didn't even do anything, but your brain is just exhausted. Like it can't be good. It can't be healthy to be like that. And no, it's not healthy. It's not good to be like that. But we do it. Why? Because that's sweet dopamine. That dopamine just feels good.
Which that just comes in the form of a lot of validation. People got different games they play on phones. They got different sites that they go to, that provide a lot of these different biochemical hits in your mind, and you get addicted to receiving that, and without it, people bug out. Ask somebody to be without their phone for like a week, let alone a couple hours, they'd be like, no. So keep going.
This is the age of phone addiction. And you put that on top of the stresses of constant 8 to 5, 9 to 5, 5 to 5 work schedule. And yeah, of course you're gonna feel burnt out.
Y'all stay with me on this one. So the baby boomers, Gen X's, our parents and grandparents are always saying this generation's so lazy, they don't want to work, they don't want to do anything. Why would we? Because look at what the system has done. We're burnout. Gen Zs don't want to work because they see how burnout the millennials are because they can't get ahead in today's world. Okay? Y'all come from a society where you worked, you could afford a house, you could afford a family, you could take your family on vacation, you had a nice car, and you worked 40 hours a week. Off every weekend, Now what's even crazier to me is you got people that are making $100,000, $120,000, $150,000 a year that can't afford a house because houses are $100,000 houses now $400,000. They can't even get approved for it. Then you got kids that the Gen X is pushing college. So these kids go to college. Then they get out of college. For one, if they can even find work, they find work. It's a good paying job. But now student loans eating up their paycheck. So what's the sense? If we can't get ahead in life, no wonder nobody wants to work. No wonder Gen Z don't want to work. They're burnt out. Millennials are burnt out.
And basically, ultimately, this place is burnt out, okay, as a whole, all right? And because, everybody pretty much are working for nothing in a sense because they're not satisfied for what they're actually getting or earning, all right? Alright, this is gonna be the book of Proverbs chapter 22 and 7 says the rich ruleth over the poor and the borrower is servant to the lender. And the rich are the Edomites, the banking elite, own all the bankings, and that pushed out all these different philosophies for people to go and do these different pursuits, okay, but are led into traps, debt traps, okay. Even the trap of a person going to college and now with the system, and they have a lot of people are losing their job to the artificial intelligence advancements, the technology, okay. So then what if you work your whole life to store up knowledge allegedly that would be valuable, but then a robot or something that's computerized can store all of that knowledge and do your tasks and not need you who worked for years to save up and store up that knowledge, okay. They can do it in seconds and it won't cost a company nothing, okay. So, this all is vanity, man. So, we seeing at the end of all things, at the end of the day, okay? This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 2, and verse 18. It says, "Yeah, I hated all my labor which I have taken under the sun, because I should leave it unto the man that shall be after me." And another thing, you don't know if the person that's after you is gonna do right. Okay, that's another trouble. You might be thinking like, yeah, I done established something, but then, those next in the next generation are wicked. So that's also like, wow, man, like all that I put in my legacy is through. That's vanity in itself. It says, "And who knoweth whether he shall be a wise man or a fool," right? "Yet shall he have rule over all my labor, wherein I have labored, and wherein I have showed myself wise under the sun." This also is vanity, and that's like a trouble, man. Because a lot of like people that excel in certain fields and stuff, like they actually are very proud, and they actually have proven their work is uncomparable, but then that whole legacy get taken away by the next person. Like, wow. It says, "Therefore I went to cause my heart to despair of all the labor that I took under the sun. For there's a man whose labor is in wisdom and in knowledge and in equity, yet to man that hath not labored therein, he shall leave it for his portion. Also this is vanity and great evil." It says, "For what hath a man of all his labor and of the vexation of his heart, wherein he hath labored under the sun? For all his days are sorrows, and his travail grief. Yea, his heart taketh no rest in the night." This also is vanity, man. And the scripture talk about watching for riches, take away sleep. roughly paraphrasing. You know, so yeah, you know, we see what it is, but people are burnt out. You know, I don't know. You could probably watch the rest. It says that
You're gonna be burnt out.
millennials are feeling burnt out, and people are just burnt out with America, man. Look at this 28-year-old E, probably. Let me see.
And so please bear with me. I am 28 years old, and I've only been working in corporate America for, let's just say, like 5.5 years. Graduated college in 2019, got my first corporate job at the age of 22. A couple months later, turned 23. So yes, about 5.5 years. And the thought of doing this, like working in corporate America for what feels like the rest of my life, because I just don't understand or see how retiring is even a possibility at this point.
And this is people at top that work in corporate America. They're talking about they don't see how the retirement is going to be possible. You got regular old individuals that work blue collar, and they're like, yeah, man, I'm almost there to retirement. You got people that actually went college educated, and then they're even telling you they can't going to be retired, you know, with everything. And they look at numbers all day. Let's keep going.
Pains me. It pains me. I just don't belong in corporate America. It is, I feel it in my freaking soul. This is not what I'm supposed to be doing. Corporate America is not for Julia Reiner. It's not for freaking half the population at this point, because we're all freaking miserable and we're all underpaid. We work way too many hours and we don't get paid enough. Overworked, underpaid. There it is. That's what I feel like right now. And the fact that it has only been...
And beyond corporate America, it's a lot of, you know, the regular jobs. You know, people feel overworked and underpaid. You know, I could say how I'm underpaid, and, you know, I put in the work. They try to overwork me, but, you know, it's all vanity out here, man. So we see what it is, man. I'm going to leave it at that, and we'll go on to another topic. Shalom to me, like.